Welcome to episode 3 of Curious Mama Conversation. My name is Zann, also known as Mama Zann. And today we are very fortunate to have Ava with us again.
Hi everyone.
Ava is a professional parenting coach and has been consulting many parents on issues regarding parenting. So Can you share with us what are the common financial issues that they highlighted?
So I think there's quite a bit of anxiety for new parents to figure out what are the costs involved and how does it influence in terms of their options available as well. While we will have financial considerations in various aspects, this also allows us to also decide what is the option that we want. Like for example, caregivers, like helpers, or infant care, in terms of financial consideration, in terms of comfort level. So these are the things that are linked to financial related, and a lot of the decision for mothers to return back to work is also linked to financial consideration, because their perception or understanding of providing a good life for their children, it is tied to the way that they perceive that money can allow them to give their children a good life.
So most of their concern is, do I have enough? And how do you actually guide them to determine whether they have enough?
So I think one thing is to allow them to understand and know what does it mean to be a good parent. So we all come from different experiences in our own lives, whether it's as a child, whether is it looking at social media like Instagram, TikTok, looking at other people parenting and having friends and family telling you what a parent should do. I think it boils down to what we believe and what we can do, and what reflects the kind of things that will work for us and our children and the family. So I think that's the first step. The second thing is to understand what our resources right now. While we might have a lot of options now, there's a lot of things that we can do to support parents and children, but ultimately, do we have the headspace to figure out what can we do or not do, or do we outsource? We can't outsource parenting, but we can outsource caregiving responsibility when we need it, when we're back at work, and knowing what are the things and the options that's available.
I think I get you. To illustrate my point, when I was in poly, many years ago, my allowance is about $100 a week. That comes about $400 a month. But my teammate, he gets $500 a week.
Wow.
Okay,
that
was like different. A long time ago. So am I any less happier? Or will my father be stressed that he cannot give me as much as what my classmates are enjoying? So just to bring back the point is that we have to look at your resources and what your kids need. And don't be too stressed out about not enough, because the not enough is based on whose standard. So you decide whose standard are you referring to, based on what your kids need or based on what your neighbors is giving their son. So I think to an actionable step is that new parents or parents, they should sit down and have a forecast or estimation of how much they need for the kid. So they can have a full financial review to see how much they have now, how much mortgage they have, how much are they paying for car loan, etc. And how much do they need to support the kid based on certain assumptions like out to university. And from there, understand how much money they need. Alright, so at least you have a good gauge. And from there, don't worry, you don't have to cough out the money immediately at the age when your kid is 1 year old. You have many years to build. Alright, so there's a first step, knowing where is your goals. Second, buy into insurance to kind of create a buffer so that when things happen, your kids are being protected. Clarify on this point. I believe some parents actually buy insurance insuring their kids. It makes sense. But at the first policy that you buy for your kid, I'm suggesting that the parents to buy insurance policy insuring their life with the beneficiary is their kid. So that if anything happens to the parents, the kid is being taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah. I have met this elderly who is doing estate planning, one of my clients, and she is very happy because she has already bought an insurance, insured her daughter's life, and as part of the legacy planning. And only then she realized, I shared with her, is that your daughter only get the payout when the daughter pass away. She will not get to enjoy. So the payout end up will go to the future son-in-law, right? So then she realized that she should actually insured her own life with the beneficiary to the daughter. So these are a little of misunderstanding there. But take into consideration when you do your planning. So have a financial plan, buy the correct insurance policy, and if you have spare, start saving up for the kid. So I think these are the three things that new parents can start planning or action upon as early as the first year of the child.
Yeah. And other than the financial consideration, there's also ways that we can explore as parents to save money in different aspects of parenting as well. Yeah, what were the things that you did to save money?
First thing, when we say this save money, must change some mindset. It's okay to use pre-loved, pre-used items. Certain money can save, certain money cannot save, but this money can save. So for example, a child seat, you can take those that pass down. Because once the kid outgrown, right, that child seat cannot be used anymore, right? So you can buy a second-hand one. Clothings, something very not costing a lot, but end up it adds up a lot is storybooks. Storybooks. These are the items that you can actually take pass it down thing. Photography. We sometimes like to take photo of food, take photo of ourselves or selfie. When there's a birthday party, when there is a baby shower, we can actually take photo of our kids. You can hire someone to take photo for you, but you can do it yourself. These are some of the things that I would actually do that has. Back then, you have 2 kids, right?
Back then.
You have 2 kids. I have 3. So I need to save some money because at one time, all 3 go to infant care, nursing, and preschool, kindergarten. So I have to keep the cost low. Diapers, I will only buy in bulk. Milk powders, I'll buy in bulk. Even though it's like save a few dollars per can, it all adds up. I think you know how.
My cousin was pass all the clothes to me as and when her own child has outgrown it.
Yes.
So I have pretty much unlimited supply in certain ways. I also do cloth diapering for both of my child. So I think it's a way to save money. Some people will argue that you save money from the cloth, but you spend more time on like washing and water to wash. This is actually a myth because when there's a routine in terms of washing, the amount of water being used for cloth diapering versus no cloth diapering is actually not a very big difference based on a few research done in UK and Australia. So it is a different routine, but quite cute to see the kids wearing cloth diaper because they have different pattern, different design. It's just also reducing possible rashes because it's made of cloth. And the modern cloth diaper, it's not the olden days where you need to take the big white cloth and fold like some sumo wrestler. The modern ones, they're waterproof. It won't leak until 3 hours.
So whatever things or the amount I spend on toys, right, the cost is divided by 3. Right? So if let's say I bring my kids to jumping bouncy castle, one kid maybe 10 minutes is like $10, or half an hour they give you $10 to $15.
Cost not already. Already double, at least double already.
I will go Toys R Us and buy the whole bouncing castle.
Oh wow. Provided house got space also lah.
The sofa on this can shift then you inflate it, and then we buy those the balls. just pour it in, and then I throw 3 kids inside. Yeah, so sometimes I buy maybe the bouncing castle at $99. I use about 2 years. I can sell it for $50. So total cost is at $40 used by 3 kids over 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So sometimes the toys, rather than bring them to go and pay money to play, if your resources can make it in terms of space, it's okay to buy the whole thing and then and let them play.
Yeah, about toys, I think one thing that I also try to save money is to get toys that have different ways of playing.
Yeah.
And I usually allow them to pick and choose throughout the day what they want, and they can be occupied for very long.
Yeah.
There's no need to buy the very fancy toys with
But
sound and
but
noise.
they must be material safe.
Material safe, interaction with humans when they play. So that is one of the things that research have also shown, that when there's human interaction, whether is it in speech or in play moments, then they will learn and pick out like, they can try to figure out and all. So don't need expensive toys. It's really the interaction with whether is it siblings or with the parents or caregivers.
Then now, children play. Sometimes they get into accident and they injured themselves.
Oh yeah.
For the first few years of a young children, there will be a few times that you need to visit the hospital.
So I think the sickness can vary in terms of like injury or sickness. Like it can be like fever when they, get a very high fever. So I remember I went to A&E when my oldest child was like 4 months old, having very high fever for the first time. And it could be like injury, like falling off the bed and all. So I think having that buffer for such kind of trips, because each time when we go to an A&E, it's at least $100. Registration. When the moment you step into there, the counter, they will ask you to pay already before you even go further in.
Yes.
And also like sickness, like whether they are kept by a helper or by the mother or parent or grandparents, or even infant care, they will still fall sick.
Yes.
And each time when they go to a pediatrician, it's also around $100 right now as well.
So there's some of the buffer that you have to stand by.
Yeah.
But as a parents, you can prepare is that you can buy a personal accident policy for young children. Because it's quite easy that the kids will get injured and then they go to hospital and get a few stitches. So that's where it comes in. The other insurance that we can consider is the MediShield hospitalization plan. Everyone should get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about MediShield. Everyone has MediShield. But the default is a government hospital.
Yeah.
So it's up to the parents' comfort level. I remember when my 5-week-old baby got high fever. During the baby shower, somebody touched her. Then she started having blister. So that one is actually at 5 weeks she got hand, foot, mouth.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So we bring to the hospital and she go into those isolation ward. And that is the time where I get very anxious because it's a public hospital, but there's no doctor at night. You must wait until the morning when the doctors are around, then they will come and take a look at her. But you are a new parents, you're worried. No, she's having high fever. No, just a young baby. I need a doctor now. Then my brother will start calling me and say, "You want to go private hospital?" Straight away the doctor look at your kid. So the story that the message trying to bring across is that it depends on what kind of medical attention, how fast is the medical attention that you want for your kid. Then you decide whether you want to have a added riders or integrated plan to bring your kids to a private hospital.
Yeah,
all right?
The options available rather than feeling that that's the only way to get treatment and attention that is needed.
Correct. So as a parent, you decide what level you want and then you see whether you want to buy a MediShield with integrated plan. So I think at least for the kid is personal accident with a MediShield integrated plan. So that would pretty much cover the unexpected medical expenses on top of the buffer that we have to cater because every time go registration, 100.
I was very glad that I got a hospitalization plan for my second child because when he was 9 months old, around 9 months old, he had pneumonia. So he was not feeling well. Suddenly he went limp after coughing a few days. We thought that it's a bit not right because his eldest brother was sick for a long while. He was even more sick, and we brought him to E&E, but his energy level is very different from the younger one, and then we had to bring him in, and then he was there for 1 week. Turned out the whole fees for staying in 1 week and medicine and everything was around 5K, but we paid I think 500 in a year because of the hospitalization plan.
Yeah.
So I think it is really helpful
Yes.
to feel like, you know, when there's a need, there's that plan to help us to tide through this huge possible expenses.
And for the kid, the Medisure integrated plan, added on plans, it's not expensive. Just like less than 100 every year. What's your viewpoint about sending kids to enrichment enrichment classes? Yeah.
So I think it really depends what is the reason and the need here. And I think every family will have different understanding of how enrichment class could help, whether it's in terms of parent-child bonding or in terms of the development of the child. And I think it's important to know that instead of feeling FOMO, there's a way to understand that it's not learning can not just take place in classrooms. There are other ways that children can learn and interact and bond with children of around the same age. And I think the other part where I talk about it is the role of a parent, how we see our role as a parent. Are we looking at really going for every single class to give them the maximum exposure? If not, we feel terrible as a parent for not doing the best we can be. Or realizing that as a child, as a young child, their needs is really about feeling safe, feeling happy, feeling joyful in terms of what they do and exploring different things. Not necessarily like 5 different classes, but probably 1 or 2 that works for you. Or like what I do is, like when there's music and movement classes, right? What I do is I do the music and movement classes at home with my children, where I dance with them, being mindful that when you make the decision to go for enrichment classes, it's not because you're feeling FOMO, like not enough, but it is for what the child needs and what you think you feel, you know, less stressed and not like just want to follow the crowd or see some influencer posting about right brain development training, music training, swimming in a heated pool class kind of thing. Yeah.
So the issue is sometimes parents don't recognize or they don't have this mindfulness to realize when they send the kid for a course, is it because the parents like to attend or the child? So they have to reflect on what's the value of the enrichment lesson. But I think for young kids like below like 24 months, most of the time the reason is to let the kid interact, get in contact with other children and be comfortable. So that could be the main reason, followed by interaction with the parents.
Some of them may be just the networking that some parents are doing.
Parents networking. Okay.
Depending on what class and what kind of network that they have. So
it comes to a point sometimes it's like, which one is your kids' preschool? Then the parents feel very proud. No, I go to a private, very high-end one.
There are like family clubs in Singapore that are catered to different societal groups, right? And then, you know, they have all these classes as well.
So that brings to the next question. There are many different kinds of preschool in Singapore. Some are full day, and full day comes with a lot of enrichment class. So their fees could be like $2,000 and above, way above. And there's another kind of preschool where they will cover, I won't say basic, but they will cover writing, reading, classroom time, but there's no enrichment classes, but it's still full day. And the fees could be, after subsidies, can be about 700, 600 a month compared to like 2 to 3,000 a month. 2 to 3,000 will include on those enrichment class. As a parent, which one will you go for?
I think personally, I will go for the option where I can go for the lower tier one so that I can decide what kind of enrichment would enrich my child in a preschool that has a school that provides enrichment, but it's not part of the package of the monthly fee. But then I also know that his interest in those enrichment classes is not very strong, and he enjoys more smaller class kind of classes as compared to like 10 or 20, 15 of them together. So it really depends on the child's interest and temperament as well. What's the intent of the parent wanting the child to go for enrichment class?
What is the value?
What's the value as well, right? If the value is, like for example, I know some parents, they want to send their child to Wushu, for example, because the instructor speaks in Chinese and they themselves may not speak Chinese that fluently. So it's a way of exposing the child in a different environment that speaks Chinese.
Yeah, I agree. But personally, when I look for a preschool, because I got 3 kids, so cost is a factor.
Yes.
And I will look for one. I will look at the teacher because the teacher must feel for my kids. While those very expensive preschool, the teachers are highly qualified. They may not feel for my kids. So my priority will be looking for one that I look at the teacher and the teacher look at my kid. I see how she responds to my kid. Then I make a judgment. But talk about the additional enrichment one. Actually, personally, I like to bring my kid outside for our own enrichment because then I can choose the one that she really like and the right institution or the right school for what she want to do. But what I have to give her is that I have to bring her over on the weekdays or weekend. There's extra traveling time, extra fun. So it is into family time. But I would tend to go on that route.
Yeah, because when they are interested and can connect with the instructor, then the motivation is there, right?
Correct.
Because instead of feeling that they need to constantly being nudged and asked to go to the class, they have the, this is class interesting, I look forward to it.
So, as I shared earlier, my own preference is to separate the preschool and the enrichment class so that I have more choice on the kind of enrichment lessons that my kids goes to, and I can focus on picking a school with the right course fees and the right teachers. When your kids receive ampouts, what is your management policy?
We will put it in the CDA account because like whatever amount that we put inside, there's a matching amount. And then we also have a separate fund, not necessarily all from the ampouts, but probably some from my husband and I in terms of putting it for investment. Yeah, so this is what we have been doing.
Do you buy into those education policies, saving policies? So what happens is that your kids have some insurance policy, but it's purely for their health and hospitalization. And then the additional funds you put into investments.
Yes, correct. So since they are born, we already start putting it for both of them. So the purpose is really for them to use it in whatever ways that they will use, whether is it like if they choose to take a degree or nowadays like degree might not be the common option. It's really about how they can use in their own ways in the money. How about you?
From my side is that actually my husband and myself is separate. My husband is a very conservative person. So he will with the savings that he set aside for the kids, right, he will go and top up the kids' CPF account. Because for him, it's the compounding effect and it's risk-free. So that is his approach. and he'll top up their CDA account.
CDA.
So he'll take part of, he'll take care of that part. I am more investment savvy, and I'll buy into shares because children being young, they have a very long runway. So if I have identified certain shares, or even like S&P 500, on long-term trend, they always go up. So I just start putting in money. So that's a lump sum. And the kids have savings for their pocket money. So based on what I give them, they maybe give, each of them can save about $20 a month. So I got 3 kids, so they have 60. So I would tell my kids, like, you got $60, daddy, mommy top up 40, we make it 100, and every month we buy into a regular saving plan into S&P 500. Yeah, currently now they don't understand the value.
As an introduction, because eventually when they grow up,
I will
they will have
bring them
a bit more appreciation of that.
So my elder kid is set 2 now. She start to ask about her angpao. Alright, so there's a time that I will show her the investment portfolio, and this is the value now. Okay, then she see already. Then I said, these are on your angpao money. If you keep invest, by the time you in your 20s, all this money will give back to you. It got her interested, and she start asking for her angpao money already, because they see where the money goes to. So I think these are some of the ways that we can slowly bring the kids' awareness into finance, and about investment and long-term investment.
I think it's about being age appropriate as well, to communicate with them the understanding of financial knowledge as well. Like my child is going to primary 1 or so, so we have been talking about more money, because when they enter primary 1, they have to use money to go to canteen, bookshop to buy things, right? I think it's also a way for them to understand like instant versus delayed gratification as well, in a very simple ways. Like we were reading this book where they were talking about needs versus wants in a very simple term. So I think it is a good thing to help them to understand and appreciate since young until, you know, when they're a bit older, then they will have the financial knowledge to know how to manage all these funds appropriately as well.
Yes. So we've been talking about how to put their savings. The other area that maybe the kids can realize, or we can help them realize, is the same item can cost different at different places.
Yes.
Let's say we were in a restaurant and my kids say, oh, can I drink water? I want beverage. Then I said, okay, 1 can of Coke is $4.50. So there are 3 of you, times 3 will be like 14, plus GST and service charge. You come out 15 to 16. I said, you eat your meal first. If you wish, later we can go to the NTUC next door. 1 can of drink is with cold chilled $1.30. Then we can save how much? Then that how much you can go and eat ice cream. If you don't eat ice cream, the balance you can keep. Usually they will cooperate.
Because they understand the differences, and they know that there's a certain benefit, I guess, because they can enjoy another thing, which is ice cream, or they can save
same item at a lower cost.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, I must tell them that sometimes when you go out with friends, right, you need to drink, you drink. But you must be aware that some place they charge more, but you are not enjoying more. So just give them the financial awareness. So I think we have talked about what parents can do to prepare their kids financially. And when they are prepared, or they know what they need to do to prepare, it will cost them less anxiety. And what are the immediate measures that they can do in place, like buying the correct insurance to create a buffer or protect themselves for unforeseen medical expenses. We also talk about what are the money saving hacks, and also how they can do simple actions such as investing the kids' savings to help to keep let the kids understand about finance and managing finance. Alright, I think we have enough for this time.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zann, for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.